So I am so excited today for Agile and Nonprofits to be joined by Dominick Bruno. I have been reading Dominick's work on LinkedIn, where he's been talking about his experience with Agile in the nonprofit space. And so, Dominick, my big question, what I want to hear, sweaters. For those that are experiencing homelessness in New Jersey in the summer, there's a lot there that I want to unpack. I'm like, how did that, just tell me about that story. I mean, how did that come to be? Please, we'd love to hear.
One of my favorite examples of the importance of having an agile mindset in your organization. Basically, I was homeless. I was sleeping at the train station, and it was in the middle of a heat wave in the summer, and we spent all day just melting in the heat. We'd go up and we'd sleep on the trains, and we're elevated. There's wind, and our clothes are sweaty, and it was cold. And I had an older fellow that slept on the bench next to me that said, "Gee, I sure wish that we had sweaters. Sweaters would be awesome." And I maybe a couple days later ran into a fella, and he was just happened to be ready. He was looking to start up a nonprofit, start up a relief organization for the homeless, and had a house full of clothing. So we were looking for a way to get started, a way to differentiate ourselves from the status quo of the services available there, which were much more focused on just immediate needs, shelter, food, and things of that nature. And I said, well, let's bring out these sweaters. And it took a little convincing. We went out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you understand us! Like you were here." And it was just one thing like that after another. And we were able to really radically and dynamically change the relations with the homeless community in New Brunswick, New Jersey, where we helped transform them from a passive community that just was receiving this aid to an empowered community that was actively taking part in getting relief and alleviating their situations.
And so I guess what I wonder is, now with that experience behind you of having something that might make some scratch their heads and they think about what's the value, but the stakeholders, the clients are saying this is what's of value. When you think about a team that's questioning how or why, or is it worth the time to get maybe customer, client, patient feedback as they're developing a new idea or a new service, how do you take that experience and help a team see the value in that agile principle of that ongoing feedback? What's a tip or a trick that you have in that space to help teams struggling?
Really is listening, and not just listening to people within your organization, your team, but just listening in general. Actually, kind of unrelated. The Johnny B that co-founded HEPCAT, our organization, used to talk all about the Grameen Bank and Muhammad Yusuf. I knew nothing about microfinance, microcredits. I was homeless. I was worried about where my dinner was coming from. Right? I didn't care about any of this stuff. But I listened. And today, I'm a volunteer product owner with Agile in Education USA. We're co-sponsoring a conference next month, the second Global Agile in Education Conference. And Muhammad Yunus is speaking. And I was like, holy, wow, like I actually know who this guy is, and everything again is coming like full circle back again. So even if it's not immediately helpful, having that habit of listening and really trying to understand and see the other person's perspective and hear what they're saying, and even if you don't get it right away, you might probably come away with something that you can use to add value. Same thing, like I listen to Felipe engineer Enriquez all the time. I know I don't work in construction, but the guests he has and the talks they have about emotional intelligence and creating healthy workplaces are just valuable for anyone. You know, uh, so yeah, just get out there and talk to people.
That's fantastic advice. And I know I'm excited for the upcoming conference. I've been watching the news about it too. So that's fantastic. And I really hope that people go to want to read your blog and the rest of the story. We've just covered a little bit of it. So really appreciate you sharing some of your story with us, Dominick. Thank you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to be here.